How we doing, everybody? Cool. So tonight we'll be doing a UI design workshop. So we'll be focusing on kind of different styles of UI, making them in your games, the kind of do's and don'ts, and a lot of this will be a lot of interactive stuff. So I will be asking questions. We'll be doing stuff together. We're gonna have a lot of fun. But first, let me fix this first slide. There we go. So, what is UI? I think this is the basic stuff, but it stands for user interface. It's kind of the gateway from the player or the game to the player and giving any information the player needs to know in order to make decisions in the game. That can be stats for characters. That can be a notification that an attack is coming if you're not able to see it. Maybe someone's off the screen and you need to know if they're there, and there's a little border icon that shows that they're there. And so those are all elements of the interface that tells you information that you need to know. And so we're going to be focusing on two different kind of styles. So HUDs, which are your heads-up displays. I think most people associate them with a first-person shooter or a shooter kind of game. And then menus are just your classic iterating through options, moving through different systems, like an inventory menu, options menu, things of the like. And so there are different forms of UI. These are more of like how you want to represent them within your game. The four being non-diegetic, diegetic, spatial, and meta. Diegetic being all these relate to how your UI is in relation to the world and the story. And so diegetic are part of the world and part of the story. I'm going to show some examples in the next few slides. But so we'll get an idea. But the complete opposite of that would be I don't remember actually. Non-diegetic, obviously. So it's just there purely for the sake of maybe looking good, but of giving you information. And the meta and spatial are kind of the ones where meta it's part of the story but not part of the world. Spatial it is part of the world, not part of the story. And so diving a little more into that, here are some examples from some games. So really good diegetic examples being Fallout and Dead Space. It might be a little hard to see Dead Space here, but Dead Space is a really good example of a diegetic HUD where your health is physically a part of your character. Your ammo is shown on the weapon itself, and your crosshairs are actually lasers coming off of the gun. So, and then a good menu example is Fallout 4, where you're going on the what's it again? The Pip-Boy, yeah. And you're like, I've never played Fallout games. Kill me. So those are good examples. Diegetic, non-diegetic, or the complete opposite. They are purely there to tell you what's what. Bottom right, Guilty Gear, you're not going to have a floating health bar in any real life scenario. So it's purely there to show you, I can kill this guy or not. And then in terms of, these are a little more nuanced. I'll start with meta because I really like the example on the top right. But that is from one of the Batman games. That is his detective mode. So one part of the character of Bruce Wayne Batman is that he's a very world's best detective, basically. And so in order to enable you to kind of behave like him, they kind of simulate what his detective powers would be. And so he has X-ray vision, he can see their guns in this little heads-up display thing. And it's not actually representative of who he is, thus it's not in the world. However, it follows the story of who he is as a character, thus being a meta form of UI. And then spatial being things that take place in the game world. Bottom left being Borderlands, an actual hologram coming off your character that you can iterate through, but has no relevance to the plot at all. So those are just some basic forms to kind of think about how you can represent your UI in your game to help support the overall feel. And so why is UI important? And so there are a lot of elements that you would not think about unless you had this information available to you. And so right here, I have Dark Souls 3. Can anyone tell me what is missing and then how that would change how you play it all? And I'll start on this side. Yeah, I'll start on this side. If there's anybody who wants to go give it a shot. Here.
No health?
No health? Why might that be important?
Well, you don't know how cautiously or how aggressively you can play without health. You don't know how much life you have left before you die. So.
Good. Any more?
You can't see like Your items.
The items are completely gone, so you don't know what weapon you currently have equipped. More importantly, you don't know how much healing flask you have left. That might be important. Any other ones? What is the main objective of this game?
It's still the boss, but you can't see the boss's,
Yeah.
you can't see the boss's system,
So-
so you have no clue how far you are, and you're kind of just sort of conservatively fighting that, hoping you eventually kill it.
Yeah, exactly. So the core gameplay of this loop is killing enemies, getting stronger, killing more enemies. If you can't tell how close you are to killing an enemy, it's kind of hard to do that. And so UI helps enable us to kind of play through that gameplay loop without any hiccups or anything. And so here is the difference. And so here's it before, and then added the UI. So it was the health, items, weapon equips, number of souls on the bottom right. Although that's not a very important factor in like moment-to-moment gameplay, and then boss health. And so we're going to be diving straight into an activity. This will be the bulk of the workshop. And so I am going to give you guys a description of a game. Please, if you know the game, do not say it at all. The point is I'm kind of describing a game, a genre with certain elements, and we're going to, as a group, kind of come up with different elements that we think are going to be important to put in that UI. Or that the first few will focus specifically on HUDs. So what elements we think are important in order to play through the game properly. And then once we have a list, I have paper and pencils and stuff. And so we're going to go ahead and draw them, and then we'll kind of show them off and see what we like and what we don't like. And so I got 3 HUDs. And so we'll start with the first one here. Oh, never mind. The thing before we do that, things to keep in mind. When we try to design UI, I try to think about balance. You know, if you're making, let's go back to Dark Souls for an example. Dark Souls is a very minimal UI because your emphasis is on the enemy itself. And so it balances itself to the corners, as well as keeps itself small, and so that you can focus on the enemies and their actions. Keeping a control scheme in mind is also really important. A lot of games will play with that. You've probably seen a lot of like diamond-shaped button layouts more and more in games. Although it's always been like a kind of a trend. I've seen a lot more recently. It's just trying to emulate the button layouts on your controller, so it's a little more intuitive to look down. Oh, right side of triangle, okay, or diamond, boom. And then contrast is really nice. If it blends into the game, it's serving no purpose at all. So now, the first game. So the first one I have here is an action game with a heavy emphasis on creating long combos and racking up score. Characters will have, oh wait, I shouldn't have included that, whatever. But some of your elements, they have health, they have some sort of currency, and they can build up special attacks. And so they also have other weapons and stuff they can switch between mid-combat. And so with that in mind, what sort of elements would we need for this UI for it to work, basically?
Good meter to keep track of
what?
of the combos, and each time we make a new hit.
So like a combo, what? You want a meter?
Could be. I mean, it
Could
doesn't
be?
have to be, but
I'll put combo meter. Any more? Yell them out.
Kind of like, so, of course you have a group that's like, say, kind of out of the way where it's the top left or bottom left with the HP bar, that's a set length, the special meter, that's the same length, and, in addition, like, at the end of that, you might have a current, like, a slot for currency.
Currency, okay. Should have a currency number or something up here. Okay.
Probably like a low corner, like your weapons, like your weapon switch. Like on seeing what you have equipped.
Okay, so like just a picture of the one you currently have?
Like not like the picture of what you have and the buttons to switch to them. So like if you have say 3 buttons, you use the D-pad to switch between them. Then it would say like you press the left button to switch to that, press up to switch to the other thing, etc.
Okay. Any more? Yeah.
I would include like a distinct combo counter. If it goes on combos, we want to see big numbers, then we want them to be flash.
Okay. You got any more?
Score counter.
Score counter? Okay. I'll go down here.
Some indicator for, maybe depending on the weapon, this, in addition to the current weapons picture, depending on like the skills, there might be the same thing, so like current picture for skills, unless that's tied to the weapon.
I am gonna count that in, where's my weapons tag? Oh, here. They fill the same purpose in the description I made here. So we'll make them interchangeable.
Would you want to see your enemy's health, or is that not?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It definitely could be important, yeah. Do you have any from this side or no? Cool. Okay.
We want something to the enemy health. If you don't want to have an enemy health bar, you could have the enemies sort of. You could have the enemies take damage to their onto their bodies as you damage them, as like a different way of conveying enemy health, because the more damage they are, obviously the less health they have.
Alright, cool.
Phases, like phases.
Go ahead and yell it out.
The same thing for eight, for like eight.
HP?
Regular enemies, it's more like you're cutting
Oh, for the player?
like, as you're-
Yeah,
you're-
Yeah,
it's the same thing for the player.
Yeah,
And
sorry,
like
that's
this
what
thing gets a little bloodier as you
like
take
in
more
Monster
damage.
where, if you.
Depends on the direction you go.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter is kind of a bad
I mean, depends on how the
example
gold's
because.
used, but you could argue with gold or like your currency counter should be on the direct layout, because if it's just like menu buying items and stuff,
Mhm.
that could be tucked away in like a different menu screen.
I think with that, let's go ahead and make our own. So I have paper up here, I have pencils, I can pass them around. But now we're gonna take maybe around 5 minutes, not too long. And, kind of, based on the things we've kind of brought up here, what do you think it should look like, with these elements? And so this will kind of be put into the test, or not put into the test, but putting into practice, you know, using these elements and how we want to organize them on our screen. Kind of make our HUD work. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But just like raise your hand if you want.
You don't actually see the health.
No, it's control.
Yeah, that's kind of like.
That's why I say. Because they get like.
You guys need one? You want some? I will say, don't make it too big. We might have to reuse this paper multiple times.
I'm joking, but
When you pass down a
Little note card if you want the note. We didn't get a piece of paper.
So I'm thinking, okay, so for health, so it's health bars. It's show up all the time. It probably just needs to show.
I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and I'll ask for some volunteers to share theirs.
Top right, and then your bottom.
Yeah. So we just have to kill him. How's that work?
Oh, kind of like, oh, it's like, so it's like, yeah, like a little circle, and that's where like the numbers come with, and within that is like, so within that, around that, maybe you could increase around the numbers, and then when it's full,
I don't know. They had like the special instructions. So that way you can hide things.
and that could also be in the top right.
I'll return them.
And then the additional weapon skills, and you can put that in the bottom. But this one you can have like, say, you know, you can have the impact here, so you
Trend of like money had like here, that way.
So you were going into Unreal?
I was this first gen.
It was the reparents.
Some what?
I'm reparenting some of the stuff to our customers. I'm taking a parallels between my gameplay ability and the blueprint.
we don't want to like kind of spreading it out so you don't so well it's using part of that just also have to get off that weapon education is kind of lower. It's like higher.
Yeah, or if you're like translation, if you like pause and like go to the main
It doesn't need to be pretty.
You're fine.
You're good. It doesn't need to look pretty.
Is that correct? Well, is that just
Oh man, I know anyway.
No. Pronounce it. Low. I can think of What is he talking about?
Oh my god.
Space Pokemon is healthy origin.
Huh?
What?
What do you mean what? You gonna do it? What? Oh shoot, my phone.
Centaurs. That's cool as hell.
I think it's. You know what? They're like constantly. They got that one Pokemon right in there, like. You have to be able to cry.
What did I say? It was Embolf, not because it's cool.
Yeah, it's honestly like.
Yeah, I did. Oh, wait. Yeah, I was totally gonna give you guys a 30-second warning. I forgot to. Time's up. Moving for like 15 more seconds. Alright, do we have any volunteers that would like to show theirs off? You can kind of walk through it a little bit. You see that well? So what do we have here? Hey guys.
So in this case, so again, I grouped the HP and like special meter up at the top.
Mhm.
They're kind of low on health there, and I'm like a little bit of like or nearly at their special meter. When the special meter hits a certain amount, or they can just use it as is. It's like at a cost to use some special mode, I guess. And then in addition, at the bottom you have like the scrolling thing.
Guys.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start from the top. So again, there's an like you have the health meter at the top left, and it's relatively large. We also have the special meter, and I'm not exactly sure of the mechanics here because I'm pretty sure I know the game this is from, but I also have not actually played it. So I'm sort of guessing that like I don't know, you spend a certain amount to like do certain to like do a move or something. I don't know. And in addition, you have the gold there. And then underneath that, I put, since the player's eyes are already there, I decided to put their weapons there. Like I guess they have a sword, they have a gun, and fire skill. I don't know. So like those are supposed to be smaller and a bit more faded out, but I couldn't get that. So you can scroll up whatever it is. At the top right is the more auxiliary information, such as a combo and the score as a result. In addition, you have the name there, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And you have the character. In addition, you have the enemy with like their health. So in this case, it's 6 out of 9. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Kind of to scale-ish, not really.
It's a small area. I will say, like, based on scaling and stuff, I will say the first thing that caught my eye is the kind of currency is bigger than the combo part. And part of the description, like the whole emphasis of the game is to kind of rack up this big score. And so maybe trying to change the scale on that. I like the bars. I think it looks good. I'm a fan of having numbers in there. Yeah, but overall, I think it looks good. Do we have anyone else who would like to share theirs? Or if you want to come over. That's fine. We're focusing on the UI of it. So if you didn't have anything like particular to characters, like on the one previously, there was like enemy health bars located on them. But so we have this one here. So you want to go ahead and explain what you have here?
So the overall approach was trying to like sort of not quite combine into the top left corner, but like having focus there as well as having the combo and the score next to each other on the side because they don't take up as much space and they're also directly close to each other. The weapon cycle is near the top left below the health and the special bar. And the currency is within the like multi-Tiana with the health and special meter because that I guess it gets a lot of players tapped to like something attached to the level you're playing.
That makes sense.
And the way it's laid out, the top left actually is kind of inspired by like fighting games in general, I guess, because usually, like if there's a special meter, they usually play those two things.
Yeah, that's typically a standard. I will say, just curious question. If we were to take this screen and move it more this way, would this combo meter move with the screen here and be in the top right corner, or is it anchored here?
I never decided on that actually. I think either could work honestly.
Either could work. Okay, I'm just curious because that's when you do go around to implementing stuff. And we're gonna focus on design today, but like stuff like that is important to think about whether or not I want this to stick with this or this to be able to move over. But I think overall it looks pretty good.
It'd probably make more sense in the top right, if like if it was in the middle of the screen, it might be more options.
Yeah, that was my thought, kind of having it way more on the right side. And maybe having this score maybe underneath to kind of balance out. You have this here and then this below it, so maybe combo here, that below it to balance that out. But I think overall it looks good. I'll take one more and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay.
It's alright, jet brains and joy. I don't like it, but it just.
Last one we got. So what we so what do we have here?
Okay, so I didn't know exactly what type of game this would be, but this is more like a Mortal Kombat style. Like if you're looking at the side, there's people are fighting. You've got like a item selection on the left, a health bar respectively for each character, and then combo has maybe like a tick counter that gets like bigger and bigger in the corner, or just like kind of flashes when you just kind of goes up. But I also kind of like the idea of just like the little number popping off in someone as it see a little 5 up next to it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, like you hit him, little number flies off to the side. So you don't have to look away from what you're hitting.
I like that. That's cool. And then is this health and then
Yeah,
this is stamina?
I didn't like the idea of having both displayed. I don't think there's a lot of games where you're like actively fighting someone and then going to purchase an item with any sort of like wealth you've acquired. So I kind of like the idea of just in any sort of menu where you might be upgrading your character, buying items, whatever, the gold can appear there, but I don't see anything for it to take up space in the UI here.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so this is stamina, correct?
Yeah.
Or the special stuff, yeah.
The health, those are health. The special meter is just indicated by the combo counter.
Oh, okay. And then this is the enemy's health. Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
got you.
what it is.
Got you.
Kind of
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that looks good. So I will say before I show the game, can anyone guess? Anyone guess what this game is?
It's Devil May Cry, isn't it?
Okay. Well, we take everyone first.
I was thinking either or Bayonetta. They're pretty similar.
Okay. Devil May Cry. Any other guesses than Devil May Cry? Okay, because you got it. Oh crap! Wait. Wrong one. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I kind of lied. All these games are actually 2 of them, and so I'm taking for most of these there'll be 2, but yeah, Devil May Cry was the original one. And so really quick, talking about how they implement it, they both share a very similar structure to them. They kind of have their bars kind of up to the top left. DMC5 is a weird example because it's character specific, but there is a mechanic with this picture here, so that's kind of grouped up together. As well as the double trigger meters there. And then I don't have the screenshot for Hi-Fi Rush with the item equips, but they're both kind of bottom corners, and so they kind of make a distinction between player stats like health and stamina, and then kind of utility. The currency for both of these, if I remember correctly, actually appears and disappears based on when you get it. And so if you don't have currency, it's off the screen because it's not as relevant. When you get it, it's a reminder of how much you have. And then the thing I like about both of these is the combo meter is stupidly big. It is probably the biggest thing on the screen. It is a giant icon in the right side that just shows you how cool you are, basically. And so these games are driven by that kind of adrenaline you get by doing combos, and so they emphasize that in their gameplay by emphasizing in the UI. And so when you have the score, the thing say S, you feel really cool because it's really big and making a lot of noise. And so it draws your attention to it and you feel even cooler. So that was the first game. So we'll kind of speed it up. We kind of had our like practice round. And so the next one is a roguelike where you fight through a series of areas, defeating enemies and acquiring additional items and skills to strengthen your character. And so some basic kind of structural things. I kept it very broad. I kept it a little broad. It does aptly describe both of them. And so your character has HP. One of them you can level up. They both you get skills in one of them, items in another, and then you have a currency as well. And so I think for this one, go ahead and just start. I'll give you guys 7 minutes to make up for the talking. We have some examples of things up here. I'll write some things that might be good hints. And so if you want to go ahead, I'll put 7 minutes on the clock. Do your best roguelike UI.
Okay, we'll run through a series of areas. If it's a roguelike, you're gonna need a map. Probably like let's read it in the bottom left corner, I think. Bottom left, usually bottom left corner.
I'll be writing some potential ideas.
Like down here. You got this is the area you're in right now. And then you can move this way. Or you can move here. Yes.
No, like. How they just everything you have. These are shoulders.
Obviously, you're gonna need to again. Top bar. Let's say we put this. Yeah, level meter 2.
I kept them broad for a reason. Some games, health bars are really small. Some of them are big. So, whenever you're developing your UI, think about kind of health scale. Think about
Level meter.
well, scale is important. Yeah. How many cookies? How many items do you think they'll be able to pick up through a run? What level should they get to? So how big should that slot be for that? Things like that. What are you looking at? I'm trying to think about other things that would be good hints. You need to pay for that.
What's the price?
How much money you got?
I don't know, 2 schmeckles.
Okay, I'll take the schmeckles.
And 30 bullets.
We have 2 gold to be.
I got 2 schmeckles.
What item did I drop?
That's it.
I was thinking, it's like
I'm just giving ideas.
you got like tokens, like tokens.
The point is not to guess the game. I know you're trying to. It's not the point.
Maybe a key, or if you found keys in an area, then you can unlock specific ones. You always have like a.
Well, I didn't pick niche ones, so I should have. I really should have picked them as niche. Each way, are you looking at references? Of what? I mean, I'm gonna not allow you to use references. Come up with something that you think would be
Gotta be original.
Well, how would you improve that one? What didn't you like about it? Are there any things that you find annoying?
Yep.
Like,
How all the allies are just on the level, like.
you could fix that
I can fix that.
right now.
I'm gonna fix it right
I have to help our people.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So.
It's like Marcos.
Or we may not even need a compass.
Also fire, but at the same time.
To make it.
That is so like, that is so like Gladys. Wow. I've done that. I know. Very silly.
I do know what it is. I know one of them.
Last time, all three of us headed.
You got around a minute and 40 left until I take volunteers. And I'm gonna pick different people for this round. And I put some more ideas on the board to kind of throw you off. Not that you were on any sort of track.
More of like like a pause of like more now or whenever you have luck.
Yeah, just like a.
Yeah, but you think about There's good about it. It's bad. Like
Imagine like that.
like both of us.
Or like me.
You go pledge.
I think we want in the workshop. It's just like what I thought we were doing, and then
Huh? I was listening, just, if you were thinking about a certain genre element, you might need to add additional elements to it. I might have seen
I was like, grab one of YouTube, be like,
Oh, yeah, like,
I just want
Like top down kind of thing. But like the back down here so they can like shoot high.
Would it be better to place would it be
would you look at that? My timer's out. I, would you look at that?
So it's like
Yeah, wrap up what you're working on.
drop and then scale.
I'm gonna switch it back over to here. Do we have any different volunteers that would like to show what they've got? Feel free to shout out. It's
I think people can put a cute little, our mascot for a teacher.
See, there's a little description underneath. You want to kind of explain? I think also explain like the design behind the game, because I think that also might help explain this. Oh, real quick. Hey guys, we're talking over here, real quick. Yeah.
India was like a turn-based roguelike where maybe you get like different characters that kind of scale levels. Most of the UI attached to them, just kind of hover around them and then there's no stats. There can be like a wheel that you can scroll through again as well.
I really like this. I think it's clean. Would most of the game be from this perspective? I'm obviously this is just like one example.
Yeah, kind of like the
Mhm. Yeah. Just for thought, would there be some sort of like exploration style to this, or would it just purely be battling? Just to see if there's other menus that you would have to think about. Yeah.
It's gonna do like.
So this is primarily what you'll be seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's clean. I like the idea of sticking things to characters. I think it makes it a lot easier to understand on a quick basis. This could be a little confusing, especially if you like a lot of skills. You have to scroll through a lot. But I like it as like a good like interact, quick attack or skill, and then maybe open something else or expands from there. So it's a little easier. Maybe like another wheel pops out, and then you can pick a skill from there. Yeah, I really like it. Nice job.
They stole my entire copy.
Mine's this one.
So what was the idea behind
Again, it's just gonna be.
This one.
Well, for this one, what I was thinking, when I thought rogue like, the one I thought of the first was Into the Gungeon. That was what I thought when I. So I decided to start to make. So I had a little map in the corner where it's like a little that map of areas that have been explored or have been explored. Then you have the compass around it, north, south, east, west, just kind of combining that into one. I have a skill bar on the bottom. I have a skill bar on the bottom. I have the weapon on the right side with the Y button to indicate to switch. The level there is not like that's more of like what it would look like. It's just, it wouldn't be in that position. I was thinking like it'd be more in the center of the screen, but I didn't want to like draw over the things I was working on the map. And then you have a key, and if there's keys in the level, you have a icon showing what keys you've collected. You have items on the D-pad there of like potions and power-ups, and then you have the health and XP bar top and bottom. And you've got the weapons crosshair and like little enemies there.
What is this here?
That's that was erased. The one below the D-pad that was erased. Or
Oh, I'm talking about the D-pad itself. What does that represent? There's like different.
the items like
Items,
like
yeah.
you press a button on the D-pad and then it activates an item.
Then what's this down here? An inventory or skill? Okay.
Skill bar, like
I got it. Like,
whereas items are consumable and skills are rechargeable. So like that. That's like different. That's like different.
okay.
I mean-
I will say I think it might be a little confusing having this and this if they both kind of fulfill like the use item.
Yeah, I think about it now. It might
And
be.
so like I think maybe having a system where they're both connected to the same thing would be a little clearer for that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like the layout. I think it's chill. My other question would be, so this is kind of the scope of the rooms.
Yeah.
Just curious, would those rooms get any bigger or smaller? Or not smaller, but like bigger? Would they take up more screen space than currently?
I would say they do. It kind of depend. Like it would depend on the size of the room. So like if it's like a small room, then it would kind of like focus only on that space. But if it's like a little bigger, then the camera would follow around the little guy as he moves around.
Okay, because my big thing is that like, if the room gets bigger, you do have like a lot of things on the screen, and so like shrinking them and making it a little less cluttery would be good. But like I like the way it hugs this here. It kind of draws your eyes in a little bit, and so just if this is things like when you're thinking about the scope of your game, how should my UI kind of go with that? For like a small room thing, having it being bigger and kind of hugging the area is really good. If you tend on your rooms being big and taking up most of the screen, making sure there's like a good level of contrast and visibility is really important.
Yeah.
Overall, I think that's a very solid design. Looks good.
Thanks.
I'll take one more. Anthony, you want to shoot? Yeah, I think I want to. Oh, actually, hold on. We'll go here. Sorry. I'll do both. Screw it.
Throw them off the island.
So what do we have here?
So basically, it's a top-down roguelike, and it's based on like a drawing I did. It's sort of like a force spirit, kind of, and instead of like having a regular health bar, I decided to do it sort of like the petals of a flower. So whenever you take damage, one of the petals wilts, and you can get more petals, and it'll build the flower out more. And then right underneath the flower is the EXP bar, and the more EXP you get, the more skills you unlock. And right under it, as you can see, is the weapon and the skill. The skill is kind of like smaller because I feel like knowing what weapon you're using, especially if you're scrolling through weapons real quick, is a lot more important than just having the skill. And the skill basically, I have it sort of like you hit Y and then you can see the tree, or like unlockable skills. I have the items in the bottom left, so that way it's not directly the first thing you see, but it is a secondary thing that's
Is that
important.
this thing here?
Yeah, it's the little bag. Then in the right, I have the map so you can see where you're going. And in the top right, I have the current seed, which are seeds. This really is
Yeah.
for the most part.
I think this looks really good. My big question here is, so I see you have the bag here, and then a button prompt to open it. When you open it, what happens?
I would say there'd be like things like the potion bottle you see there where it has like a pedal to add to your flower.
Mhm.
If you take damage. It probably have things like items that give you like special abilities for a temporary time and just like extra little things, maybe even like a health I'm trying to think of it, like sort of like a health management system, or not health, but hunger management, like in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, where over time you slowly get hungrier until you start taking damage, but instead maybe just you are slower or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think this looks really good. I don't really have any comments. I will say maybe, I don't know. That's more of a nitpick thing. I think organization wise, it's really solid. That's good. So, does anyone want to guess the game that I had, or the games technically that I had here? Hades, Binding of Isaac,
No, let him cook. Let him cook.
Any more guesses?
Ring Fit Adventure.
Ring 2? What? I mean, I could, I guess. That's a very long run. So, it is Hades and Risk of Rain 2. The so a lot of y'all had very similar kind of layouts, health bars, things located at the corners. You guys had maps and whatnot, which is more of a Binding of Isaac thing. The reason I put it on here, but the big thing I wanted to highlight between the contrast of these games, are how they kind of show how you have items equipped. And so.
Switch to be announced this week, and
Hades kind of just shows you everything you have on the left. It's just like, yeah, here's everything, and you just see it all. Risk of Rain does a very similar thing. The reason I picked that is because they have that, but also, if you look at the character, they kind of wear every single item they have. And so diegetically, you can understand what you have. So if you get like a little shoulder rocket that shoots rockets, you know you have it because it's physically on your character. So a game like Binding of Isaac takes that a step further from these games and does not tell you what you have at all, because you just have it. And these games are a little different. Like Risk of Rain is a little different because you can stack items. So knowing how much you stack is really important. That would be really hard to show diegetically without it being a mess. And so that's why I opt to use that giant bar of items. And then Hades, you can level them up. And so being able to see what level they currently are would be a little hard diegetically. Another thing here that would get messy. So that's why I kind of picked this. It's an opportunity to have a diegetic choice for how you represent your inventory system, because these games really don't have an inventory system. You have the item or you don't. And so when it's a yes or a no, it's a really good chance to be like, actually, okay, I have it, let's wear it. So, for the next game, this one was probably the easiest one to guess. It is a turn-based RPG where you control a party of up to 4 characters in an open world. During a turn, a character can perform multiple actions like moving, casting spells, and more until they use their actions. Characters can store they can have dozens of different skills that they can use at any point. The reason I chose this one is because if you've played Warcraft, you have a giant bar of a lot of stuff. I hate it. I haven't played the game. It's very noisy. And so how would you kind of attack having so many options? It's a lot of information. It's nice showing it all because it's very accessible, but it can also be kind of an eyesore. And so we'll have this one be quick. I'm only gonna have 2 people show it off so we can go into menus and stuff. This is the last HUD I have, and so I'll put 3.5 minutes on the timer. This might be a little fast, so we'll see. But I'll walk around again and see how people are doing.
Right, it's right. It's not.
You just got like an extra few seconds because I couldn't type it in.
That's hard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want them to do I'll check.
Yeah. Honestly, yes.
Oh, we do not. I wonder what the game is.
Have we gone down the?
I like him before. He's got no. He's got no cake.
He's got no cake. I think it's here.
Oh, there's some. Yeah.
Busy watching hockey.
What do you think is the important for a term to
I'll give you a hint. This game has an order to like, has a set order that you can see of like who goes when. So there's some indicator of turn order, which could be nice to put in there. That could be nice.
That's okay, as long as it's there. Open, oh, yeah. Alan Wake too.
Huh?
When you think kids here, you have like You always had to say, and he's almost always like, he's like, oh, God. Yeah, he starts playing. And all my old friends start playing like they're all kids.
The combat I think is some of the best in the series. The overworld and stuff is a little disappointing. I think it's like it doesn't say it's welcome. Like it is long. It's a lot of like short stops. I wish they were a little longer. Less of them because it doesn't really like stay on an idea long enough, in my opinion. Okay, hold on. No.
Just the one where that's a quick game.
I'm gonna give you guys 20 more seconds, and then I'll pick 2 people to share, and then we'll move on to menus.
I didn't expect that. Honestly, I remember when we talked to like the guy at the drink up there, he was like, oh, I tried to do that.
Yeah.
Even since we tried to do that, and he was like, oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay. That is time. So is there anyone who has not volunteered yet? If there's no one else, I'll go to you. Is there anyone that wants to volunteer that hasn't already? No one up front? Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, this is one. They gotta get it somewhere. Even though they advertise it so well,
Okay, you guys. So now we're gonna do some talking real quick. So it's this one here. All right. So what's going on here? What do you have here?
Pretty much I'm like heavily inspired by like getting towards the part where you
Okay.
just navigate through any part of the map and select any place to attack and whatnot. I decided to just do the bottom left a lot more. I think
Yeah.
and well, it can be an end match, but and on the top right, that's just a
The turnover thing.
pretty much.
I like the turnover thing. Yeah, this is nice. I'm not gonna harp on these too long. I do want to get on to menus, but I think this is very solid. I would maybe direct this the other way because it's kind of cutting into the action. So I like the angled part, but maybe having it be kind of supporting this corner so that it's not jutting into the action as much. We have one more. Is it just this?
That and also like evil enemies. Yeah. Unfortunately, Brain Rot games, I believe the same.
Oh, okay. I don't think anyone's gonna get this one. Wait a minute. Cool. So this is it here. And so
So
I'll just go ahead and show them. Yeah. Hey guys. So what we have here?
okay, so first off, this is Brain Rot from one of the games. I think this could be based off of your pen. I think I know what it is, but it's Brain Rot from a different one. That's all I'm saying. So we have the evil enemy there. No name or like information given because that's something that we want the player to remember. In addition, we have the 4 people in the party on the right. The letters are supposed to be like their class, so black mage, white mage. Okay, that's a really big giveaway. And then to the right,
I mean, I personally took this off of an improvement of what was in the game because I felt the games that I'm thinking of, the HUD is a little crowded. Ironically, my drawing kind of makes it worse because imagine now that there's more space between it. So you have the health points and you have the magic points. Because this is the HUD and you have the menu and it's a turn-based JRPG, there's really not much more to put.
That's fair.
Most of it's gonna be in the menu, so like when it's come time to the menu, if we do this one, it'll be almost right. Yeah, and I didn't draw the one that didn't draw the turn order because again, my brain rot and if you're gaming the series, I know which one to touch. And but you could have one. I think I don't even remember what it was. But yeah.
Okay. Just curious. So, what game do we think this is? Just curious. Final Fantasy.
Specifically Final Fantasy X.
Oh, I wish. Oh, my bad. I just didn't know. You raised your hand first, so I was just jumping off. Any more guesses? Okay, cool. Any more guesses?
Thank you.
What?
This is fire.
No, it's not.
Yeah. No, it is.
Okay. So none of you got it. And if you get mad at my description, that's on you. It's Baldur's Gate.
I was thinking Noah's original.
You said it wasn't Baldur's Gate. You said it was not Baldur's Gate. You said it wasn't. That is. So in the top left, you can see there's a thing. It's the turn order. The reason I brought this one up is just it is very cluttered. It is organized pretty decently. You have bonus actions in a certain area. You have your class actions in a certain area, and so it's easy to kind of go in and pick them. It's just all the icons are really small. They're hard to like tell what is what, and so a lot of it is hovering, rereading. It can be very unintuitive at times, but once you have to learn the UI, which is kind of a fault of this game, in my opinion. But it's a little noisy, is what I'm trying to get at. But that is all I had for that. So menus, we'll be quick. I chose, I think, some fun ones for menus. So these will be fun. Also, if you need more paper, let me know and I can get you one. But before we go to that, just what makes a good menu. One thing you might not think about is having consistent vocab. If you're calling a thing health, don't call it vigor or something else later on, because that just creates a disconnect. An example I had last year when I did this workshop was Smash Bros. Melee, and its main game mode, which you would assume is called Smash, is not, or not called Smash. It's called like Battle or something. It is not the main game mode. It is a single player mode. And so the thing that you would play that game for, which is the multiplayer, is not called something that you would think is that. And so making sure you're naming things properly. Having a comfortable depth to your menu. So what I'm saying is don't make a crap ton of sub-menus. Don't hit an option to hit an option to hit an option to hit an option. I like to keep, when I work on menus, kind of a depth of 2 to 3. I click one option, and then I have maybe some other options that kind of, that first one is a filter, and then from there I get access to what I have, to what I want. And then clear navigation, if you're on a controller and I hit right, I should not go down. And so creating UI where, if anyone's played Smash Bros. Brawl, that one I hate, because it's this, into like this, into like this, or something, and then I'm here and I click right and I go like here. This doesn't make sense. And so when you're thinking about organizing your menu, making sure, okay, well, if I were on a controller or something, if I were gonna like press a certain input, where should I go? And then the shape of your UI should fit that as well. So, cool. So the first one I have is a first-person tactical shooter where players have money they can use to purchase a variety of different weapons at the beginning of a round. And so the menu we're making is the menu to purchase equipment, just to be specific. So this is more background what the game is, so what kind of things you can have. We are making the menu to buy the stuff. So I will give you all 5 minutes for this one, and then we'll do 2 volunteers, and then we'll do our last one, which I think will be our most fun one. Okay, your timer's going.
Wait, is this gonna be a line? Or is this gonna be?
This is a menu, so we're focusing specifically on like if you're at the beginning of a round, so to speak, you can purchase weapons. How do we organize that to be intuitive? Yeah, and then feel free to choose as many types of weapons as you'd like. I have some listed up here.
Yeah, I like the look. Oh, yes. What's happening over there? What the I'll do my best with everything.
I think this typography is really good. Like it's a way. Well, I like the one that's like triple A. It's like, I like the one that's like I like that. So that one, not this one. And drive that. And 4 days and it all takes no homework time. So you that's a lot of
We saw with the rest of the class.
Well, it's not a console.
We have full-time students in like. Oh, no, what? It's not. The moment I found out about the PhD shit, I was like, okay, drop it down to 30 hours. But that was gonna be which I know like makes students.
It could be. I was thinking like CSGO has the wheel, but I don't really. The other game I thought of was that one. I don't really like that shot.
Oh, yeah.
It's not bad for the game, but it's not like.
I will say,
The velocity value makes sense. It's with the like
I mean, it does feel cool to navigate. I will say, once you know what you want,
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Other than that, it's kind of either rear or
I remember
okay, so I'm playing really good. We can control more than it's that those are like no, I'm saying those boxers. Oh, like this in the side.
No, you definitely should like actually make this like the timer is gone. I'll give you like 30 more seconds if we need it. Do we need it? Okay, cool. So I will say I grabbed one on the way up here. This one's very interesting. We'll have Anthony explain it. So the first one is this. Anthony, you want to explain what's going on here? Can you say that a little louder? Sorry. Guys. It's a crane game. So at the beginning of every round, you have to get an item from the grain machine. The bundle? Oh, so you can't use WSD. You have to. I think it's a really funny gimmick. Is it good? I mean, it is interactive. I think it's fun. I don't know if it's the. If this was in the game that I was thinking of, I would hate it. If it was its own thing, I would love it. So I love this. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like the Reddit subreddit where they were reinventing the volume slider. It is very fun to watch, but if it was actually a thing in
I know that there's people that like will recreate menus and make them complicated for no reason. Is it one of those? Also, do we have another person who wants to show theirs? I'll take one more volunteer. I do. Every day, Monday through Thursday. So I have to wear this every day. It's awesome.
I didn't wear mine.
So, Jack, what do we have here?
essentially it's a table you can rotate and select any of the items, so it just acts as like you can swipe to get any of the items, or weapons, but it'd be like the world.
So like you would click and drag and then kind of like
Yeah.
spin like a wheel.
That, or maybe it like just press a button. It's like you don't necessarily need to. It'd be more like I think interesting if you could just like spin it using the mouse, but it could just be one button or something.
Okay. Honestly, I think it's fun. And I think it'd be like with a good clicking noise or something. I think it'd be like really satisfying. I think
It's a first person.
it might be a little annoying if you have a lot of weapons in the game.
Yeah, it's not the most efficient, but I think if it was like I mentioned to you, like, you know, the CSGO wheel, that's always split up into different groups of weapons. So maybe if you had something like that,
Something like that.
like where you're looking for a specific thing.
You can filter to that specific weapon and then go from there. All right, that makes sense. So I'm gonna return this to you, but before that, I think we all know what the games are. Does anybody have a guess what the game is? No way. And CS:GO and yeah. I'll show you in a second. But they're both very different approaches to this menu. That one emphasizes like very quick selecting, and so if you look at the bottom, the depth of the menu is just one. It's very quick. You click on the weapon you have, one, you get it, and so it's very easy to navigate. You kind of just look at what you have, or look at what you want, click at, and you have it. The main fault of it is whenever they add more weapons, which they don't do often, but when they do, you kind of adding more to that menu, you have to add more buttons, and the screen space kind of goes down, visibility of the weapons goes down, and so it's not very conducive for expansion in the future. And so if you have a small scope and you don't have a lot of weapons, kind of just having all your options available, it's kind of nice. I'd like to mention CS2 took that menu. So CSGO, the top one, the wheel, I personally don't like it. It does do a nice job of filtering by what you want. I think it's an instance of you having to learn the menu. You have to know which one is which, click it, you see them, and you have no ability to see what weapons are available by clicking it, which I wouldn't have as much of an issue with if it wasn't in a weird circle where I have to, it's just a name, there's no pictures, no nothing. So I have to hover over rifle, but also there's, I think, rifle and sniper rifle. And so if I look at it at a glance, I see rifle, I'm like, oh, cool, oh, those are the snipers, I don't want one. So having some sort of visual clarity to show would help with that a lot. I don't mind the circle, it's just not having the ability to see further does not help. So the last one, this is the last thing I have for tonight. This one I think we're gonna have fun with. So this is less of a game, more of a mechanic. Create a tier-based progression system. Basically the menu for it. A tier-based progression system where you can unlock collectibles by leveling up. And so these have taken the world by storm. I think we all know what it is. I'm not going to say, but great. I take a couple minutes. I'm going to go till maybe we'll do 5 minutes again, and just I'm leaving it open to how you progress to yourself. Some systems you level up and you gain currency, and then you can use that currency to buy things on a certain page. Others just have a straight level, and so you get a level, you get that, and it's rewards. So feel free to change it up and do whatever you want with that formula. The goal is just to see how you would organize it so that it's enticing to people. And so making it not complicated, making it flashy, having good photos, stuff like that would be good to kind of market it. So take 5 minutes, go crazy. Please do not look up references. There's a lot of them. There are a lot of references.
It's a 5 out of 10. Just like it's a 5 out of 10. But here's the thing. This is going to be I go so fancy. Like, that's a zero. Okay, okay. Zero is. This isn't a relevant set. I say five. It's like I go like this is my it's good. It's good. Yes. Really, it's the food is it just elevates to like an yeah. I did, and these I had to get the food. I told you, my personal call. These guys are going. It's a solution. It's a money tree.
Based on the game. Well, you're trying to. I didn't even think about it.
Also, that's where people like that. That's anyway.
We should show up for this Mitchell story. It's history. It's so niche to this. No one. We also got like no one in the circle. Well, that's kind of nicely done. No, you can totally. You can submit. Well, so the hurt kids are in Free Carolina too. Carolina too.
There's a loyalty.
This is how far you can go outside the groups and in a room as you descriptions, one of your kids will let you again. And the next year your wife will I don't know, like, I might try and put this as RNG here, 15% chance it might be old like again. can't promise anything.
So even if you buy it,
Not really high. Yeah, that's the next tier. So you have to buy this tier first. One of your kids might talk to you again.
We got. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I found the volume control.
For what? Oh, yeah. Oh, I have seen this. This thing's so silly.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I've seen the one where is the curling that. Okay, that's awesome.
I like it.
I love that. Does this work at all?
I don't know if they work. They might go on person's computer, but I don't have them.
We're gonna give you 30 more seconds, and then we're gonna show off our battle passes. I'm just gonna say it. We're making battle passes. There's no surprise. What is this?
I think that was the best one.
Wait, what is it?
It's a bunch of the
Oh my god, the CD. That's really good.
that was my favorite.
Okay, that's really good. I think the curling's still my favorite. That one's really fun. Okay. Cool. We're gonna call it. I'm gonna show it. Blah blah blah. Battle passes. Oh my god. Does anyone have a battle pass they'd like to show? We'll go back there first. Let me put it on. We had some really cool ones, so I know people share. So this first one. Dude, I keep dropping this thing somehow. So what do we got here? I'm not showing it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's not. It's below the line.
This thing is really weird to control. Hey guys, this is our last discussion day. Okay, right here.
Okay, so the whole point of this is to entice you, is to try and force you to spend money, and trying to entice you. So here we have cute icons alongside smaller items that you're not currently focused on. We also have a dashed bar. So the dash bar shows that that's where you could be with the amount of money you have now, but you have to spend on the current larger item. In addition, you have catchy names like hashtag leave no longer or rekindle flame alongside again the cute icons and or power of parenting with a funny description. So I can't hear this. Sorry. So for instance, this one is get one of your kids to finally talk to you again. Maybe XD hashtag lol. And the next tier is it'll also describe the next tier trying to entice you to get there, which is your wife will finally love you again, which 50% chance in order to encourage gambling. So no guarantee. She said that she was taking the kids this time, but don't worry about it.
I think this looks good. I like the dotted line. We're trying to get as much money out of this as possible. It kind of relies on the fumble. I like the dotted line of kind of just trying to emphasize, hey, you could be here. But overall, I think, the addition of icons kind of helps. I think the fun descriptions are a nice addition. I will say a lot of, I'll go back to the examples in a second, but a lot of battle passes will emphasize visuals because a lot of people want to see the cool flashy thing, and so maybe have a little more. This is very short, so if you have double the space, you have a little more space to make a fun icon that's a little more intriguing.
Wait, that's actually kind of the point though, because I didn't get to draw this, but the whole point is they'll show a little bit reading out, enticing you to see. Oh, I need to see what's there, but in order to see what's there, I need to buy everything else first, which is another 50% chance for your wife to love you again. I don't know. But I also can't add a lot of visual flair on this. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. Do you have any more examples that people want to show? There were some good ones.
Do you want to grab one?
Who else is?
I'm like silly.
Oh.
Mine's silly.
We can get them both. We'll go here first. And then it's the. So this is the battle pass. So what do we have here?
To be honest, my first thought when I saw like game levels to unlock things, the thing is that I don't usually play games with battle passes a lot. So the first thing I thought of was, oh, skill tree.
I also.
Yeah. So basically, as you collect souls, which are the currency of the game, well, not the full currency, but the special currency, you get to unlock more skills throughout the skill tree. So you start with a very basic skill, and then you start branching out into other ones. And underneath the tree is sort of the skill and the descriptor of what it is, along with the little buy thing. And the character on the side is supposed to be if you have like an item on it instead
So you
of
can
like,
see that and have a visual of it.
yeah, and then the little X out button is at the top, so it's not too.
It's hard to find, so you can't escape it. No, it's a great detail. Making navigation hard, honestly, a good thing to do here.
You're in the woods, might as well be lost.
Yeah. I will say, as someone who plays games, I like this as a form of progression. I think you have more choices, which battle passes like you not to have, because then you can get to what you want and cash out. So this does offer freedom, but as someone, I want to make money, I hate this. No, overall, I think it's very strong. What?
You have a really good idea that like you can like go down and like we have like choose a path almost.
Yeah.
And it locks off the other paths, but then you can buy to go down the other paths.
What if you also made it so you had to pay like smaller amounts while you go down the one path, and then when you unlock the other one, you still have to keep paying for it?
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, Smart, you want to show yours? Bring that up here. You don't have HDMI, do you? Okay, we'll show it. We'll see if let's see if this works. Okay.
It's a really rough mock-up.
I'll turn the light off. I don't know. Okay, what do we have here, Smart?
So we have a battle pass.
Yeah.
We got Hatsune Miku because thank you. And then that entices people because anime girls are like really cool and awesome. So then, and that makes people pay. I say like yesterday, I paid for Hatsune Miku. Can I get another one? It works.
Yeah.
And then there's some other like there's pregnant gun.
I'm seeing that you had very specific vocabulary here. Can you explain that?
Oh, there's also then there's also below each of the things there's regular and there's poor. So poor is like the just the base things that you can earn for free. But then like if you actually want to get stuff and be like a regular human being, then you get the regular tier. First, a premium because we don't want to like make people feel like they're like, you know, like premium people. Like it's just like you're regular. Like that is just like that's the base expectation of you. That's what we expect of you.
What is it?
Third tier? Okay. Oh, I like yeah.
Okay, okay.
Have multiple skins that you have to enroll. Or
You
not.
got, you can like, so like that's like there's actually like a Miku battle pass. It's like for like her own styles and stuff. So it's like but you have to buy that one as well. You like even though you get this one in the regular tier, you have to buy like the Miku pass inside of that skin.
You have to get Miku first before you can get
Yes, yeah, yeah. You have to get that one.
So I'll be honest, a lot of this some of that's a little bit of visual flair. What I feel like you should do is you should for the core one you should like draw it like it's like on fire and like brown tinted and all, and also for you should like be very detailed with the drawing for the pregnant gun. That will draw people.
That will draw people in. I want to show this.
Yeah. Oh, this thing's really fast.
Yeah, hold up.
What-
It'll zoom out.
Wait.
What is this supposed to be?
Can you see it at all?
What is it?
It's like an evil face. You see it? It's like, and then there's two eyes. Oh crap! Oh, it's
Translation.
by that.
We had fun with that one, right? So, talking seriously about battle passes, they do a lot of things like making flashy titles, having a lot of bright colors, having a big emphasis on the visuals of like what you're earning, all to create a sense of, I really want these, and they distinctly separate you into at least early on, free and paid version to kind of make you feel separate in a way, which is a little, you put it that way, it's a little weird, but it works. Yeah. And so that was the last kind of activity I had. And so just to recap, good UI all around just kind of enables behavior in players, whether it's good or bad. Battle passes, it enables getting money. But for like HUDs in your games, they enable you to have the knowledge you need to be able to make decisions within the game. And so, good UI, a good UI requires a good understanding of your game at its design level as well as who your audience is. And so, if you're making a first-person shooter and you put giant emphasis on maybe a fishing mini game on the right side of the screen, maybe you're not really adapting to your intended audience. And then one of the big things I want to emphasize is UI takes a lot of iterations. You're going to try something, you're going to like it, and then you're going to play the game and you're going to not like it. Whether it's too big, whether you don't think it looks good enough, or maybe you wish you had something else in there, or you laid out your inventory differently. So there's no shame or anything in trying things again. Part of the exercise we did was just trying to rapidly come up with ideas and try to look at each other's ideas and see what do they do differently than me. Oh, that's something I can take. So UI is a very iterative process. So I hope you guys had fun. That's all I have. So we have about 15 minutes left. It went a little longer than I wish, but if you have any feedback, we have a little feedback form here. You don't have to fill that out. I just put it there. But yeah, that is the UI workshop. Thank you for listening. Yeah. Feel free to hang out to the rest of the time. Oh, actually, quick announcement. Shoot. Real quickly, we have still 15 minutes left. This is for everybody. It is really cold out. It is quite freezing. So what we did last time is we grabbed the food, tried eating there. They all closed. They kicked us out. They came here. This time, I think we have a lot of people. So if you want to join us, I think we're just going to get our food and then come back to Lampy, but not here. We're just going to go second floor. The first door you can get in, there's a nice little seating area. So we're just going to go there and hang out. And so if you want to order your food in advance for pickup, and so you're just in and out, that'd be cool. But we're going to kind of reconvene in that little lobby area with vending machines on the second floor. So we'll leave here in about 15 minutes, so feel free to hang out. If you did the UI workshop, feel free to share your stuff.
Share your shit.
I'm on stream still. Yeah, that was it. Yippee.